thin ribbons of sunshine cut through the canopy overhead.
Oh, I thought someone was named Thin Ribbons. That's a great name.
The dance of light and shadow across your faces is like moving camouflage. You all stand there, tired, bruised, and bloody. Ammo check, Lisa Lemonwedge calls out as she wraps gauze around her arm. Half a dozen knitting needles, Harper's bizarre replies. Just a shot left from my trick flower, Nicole Orby calls out. Morgan, you check your equipment bag for blaseballs and reply. How many do you have left?
4. 4 blaseballs left.
Fox is low on chemicals. Salamander Scoot is out of lava rocks for his slingshot. Lisa Lemonwedge does some math in her head and nods to herself. We can't stay here. Darby, Zlobs, Jorks, you're the tip of the spear. Everyone else, we are right behind them. We are taking that beach. 2 hours earlier. The math wagon drops you all off at the main gate to the Arlington Reservoir, home to the Arlington Angelicas field, the Watershed. The watershed is interesting for a couple of reasons. First, you have to hike there. Second, the field itself, the bases, the backstop, the paint for the foul lines, is made only from things in the reservoir and the surrounding park. It's a truly local field. So the math wagon pulls up, and it's at the kind of a trailhead that leads into the reservoir and the parks surrounding it. And all the doors unlock in the math wagon, and you all, and the 4 of you trundle out and start marching up the trail.
Darby, I'm going to beat you there.
No, you're not.
Darby, catch. I throw her my giant chain to catch.
I take off into the sky to catch it in the air. Wait, are you just distracting me, Zlobs?
Yes, it's working.
Morgan,
Matters.
do you wanna walk at our own pace together?
Okay. Hey, Matters.
Yeah.
Guess what? I made a phone call before we left. Yeah, you guessed it. I called Susie Chen. And I invited her to the game today. I don't know if she'll show up, but I invited her.
Darby, you can't pick me up. No, don't place me on top of a tree. No.
I don't place him on top of the tree, but I'm flying with Zlobs in one hand and the war chain in the other, so he just can't quite reach it, but I'm just dangling it out in front of him.
You are banking up the trail and through the switchbacks, and the laughter echoes through the trees. For those of you listening who haven't tuned in a while, Susie Chen is a very interesting character since she came up. She is a player on the Waltham Windflowers, and the Waltham Windflowers are a very interesting Blaseball team because they don't have a sponsor. They are self-funded through crime. So the Waltham Windflowers are a crime syndicate, essentially, and Susie Chen is the heavy, or the enforcer on that team. Starting right fielder, tall for her age, tremendous power with her bat both on and off the field. Morgan, you gave her a call, you left a message, and, well, the Windflowers played this morning, and your game is in the afternoon, so there's no scheduling conflict you're aware of.
You seem... Is that not what you wanted, Mathers?
Why wouldn't I want that?
Is that...
Susie Chen is one of my best friends.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't know why you're not more excited about it. You seem kind of...
No, I'm very excited to see my best friend Susie Chen, who wouldn't be excited to see a good friend and have them come and watch you play Blaseball for the first time in a long time since that best friend saved your life, and they're gonna come to the game and they see you, and that's what friends do, and they're gonna say, wow, what a good job Mindy Mathers is doing. I'm glad that she's alive because of me. And then we will probably high five.
Yeah, that's what friends do. You probably
Darby, throw me in the lake, throw me in the reservoir.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Throw him high up in the air first.
Chat. Chat. I have. We're gonna vote for this one.
Oh no.
Dark magic or irresponsible chemistry. We'll just see what the preponderance of the chat decides there. Anyway, yeah, you are Zlobs. You are tossed into the lake. Essentially the route to the field, the watershed, kind of leads by the lake, and it's beautiful out there. But you get to you get to a fork, and you're pretty sure that the field is to the left, but there's a big sign up that says bridge out ahead, use detour to watershed, and it points to the right.
We have someone who can fly. Let's go left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Darby, you do indeed kind of fly along the trail, and sure enough, there's a kind of a little. It's not even a river. It's like a little rivulet of water with a couple of walking planks over it. Those planks are in fact gone. So you are able to fly over the tiny little 2-foot river, and kind of bank around, and there below you is the watershed.
Whoa.
Mm.
It's so cool. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you all get there, presumably, unless there's something anyone else wants to do on the way.
No, I'm assuming me and Mathers just took our own pace, and then we eventually caught up.
Yeah, you saw the detour sign, but you ignored it essentially, and you went to the the main path, and essentially just hopped over a tiny little stream. And there are
solved your stream puzzle, John.
Yeah, you did it. All right, and the game is played, and we all go home. Good job, everybody. We're going to call it early tonight. No. There are a couple of people already here. There's some of your team are kind of filling up the away team dugout with their equipment. And it looks like there are a couple of players from the Angelicas that are here. The Sunflowers are a notoriously punctual team. But the Angelicas, there are a couple of people in their dugout as well, kind of milling around. Morgan, this is probably a you thing because you know everybody. Why don't you give me just 2d6 plus sharp?
All right, 2d6 plus sharp. That is an 8.
All right, partial success. So you partial success. So you do not recognize them, which means you speculate that they are probably shadows, aka some of the newer players on their team.
I go to meet them.
Sure. There are two there. We'll converse with one of them. They're the person introducing themselves as the shadow first base person is named Billy Ingot, and then the shadow right fielder is definitely not a human and is named Thistles. Who would you like to chat with?
I want to chat with Billy.
Sure. So Billy Ingot is just a little compact kid. He's probably just hit the age cutoff. So he's there, and his uniform is nicely pressed, and he's currently like lining up bats against the bench.
Morgan,
Mathers?
can I come with you?
Yeah, come on. Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is Mindy Mathers.
Oh, hi, Morgan. Hi, Mindy. I'm Billy.
Billy, are you excited about playing the game today?
Yeah.
Yeah? You seem reserved?
Well, we'll see how much I play, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, you know what? I remember being your age, and I remember being kind of nervous, and you know what? I ended up pitching a really bad game. I mean, just awful. In fact, my entire team told me that I was the reason why I lost, but it didn't matter because we were played as a team, and that made me a winner. And that's what I hope for you too, Billy.
For me to lose but learn something about myself?
Well,
That's exactly what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just play an honest game, and you can't lose.
Honest game. Got it.
All right, Darby. Let's throw this ball to each other as fast as we can without gloves. And the first person to drop the ball loses.
Oh, you're gonna lose so bad.
I usually do. That's why I use my big catcher glove. Ha! Ow! Ha! Ow!
What got you in the game, Billy? Billy?
Yeah?
What got you into Blaseball? Why are you playing it?
Well, my weekends are free, and it's good to do. And I'm obviously excited because I get to meet teammates, and it's good. It builds character.
Mathers, would you say that Blaseball builds character?
I think lots of things build character. I guess anything builds character. Just depends on the kind of character.
Hey, Zlobs, do you want to go put our hands in the really cold water? Because
Yes.
yours look like they're going to bleed.
Oh, they're already bleeding. Yes,
Oh,
please.
no.
Ow, ow, ow.
Come here.
Okay.
When he sticks his hands in the water, I push his head in.
Bracing the cold.
I pull Darby in with me.
Ow! Zlobs!
You pushed my head underwater first.
Zlobs, 2d6 plus sharp, but -1. You are you are otherwise entertained with roughhousing and hijinks.
Oh, it's one of my favorite things. 7.
All right. So you kind of pop your head up, and I'll give you a choice, actually.
I like choices.
Do you want to learn a little something about the reservoir or learn a little something about the field?
The field, please.
Okay. Everybody is, you kind of turn back and you're like, okay, it's getting to be roughly game time. And you realize everybody is here but Jess Who, your first base person who drives a triangular tank of powerful build.
I'm gonna look to Billy and I'm gonna toss Billy a Blaseball. Not too fast, just a little fast, and say, have fun out there.
Morgan, you give me 2d6 plus sharp.
Another 8.
Do you not want to know something good, or do you want to know something bad?
I want to not know something good. No. I want to know something bad.
Okay.
How can you not choose that? It's so tempting.
I know.
Billy misses the catch completely. Like did you put a particular amount of juice on this, or was this just a casual toss?
I would say this is like it wasn't it wasn't like an easy ball. It was like somebody who you should probably kind of know how to catch it if you're playing Blaseball, but it wasn't like a yeah.
Yeah, so you put a little pepper on it, and Billy does not instinctually know how to catch.
Oh.
Like he reaches up, like he's wearing his glove, but he reaches up with his ungloved hand, and when he sees how fast it is, he kind of ducks away, and it slams against a tree along the foul line. Okay, got it.
Bill, you do your best out there, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna walk back to Zlobs and Darcy.
Billy. I'll just be a second, Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah?
How old are you?
7. Well, I'm going to be 8.
You're going to be 8 by the time playoffs happen?
Mm-hmm.
You're probably the youngest on the team.
I think so.
I was the youngest when I joined.
Yeah?
So, what kind of fears do you have?
Should I tell my fears to someone on the other team?
Oh, guess not. Bye.
Bye.
Does Billy have a secret as I walk away?
2d6 plus weird, please.
Mindy. Mindy.
Well,
it's my fault. I left. I should have.
Morgan left me alone with a new person.
Yeah.
11.
Billy has a secret.
Yay. What's the secret?
Billy Ingot is not a Little League player.
What?
What's he doing here? I'm going to go. Do I know what he's doing here?
With an 11, you sure do.
Oh, what's he doing here?
Billy Ingot is keeping you busy.
We have to go.
Yeah.
We have to go. Zlobs?
Yeah?
Darby, Morgan?
Yeah?
We have to go.
Something's not right.
We have to go. We have to.
Like leave?
We have to go find Jess. We have to go find Jess right now.
Jess?
Jess who? We have to go find Jess right now.
I know I changed classes recently, sir. Am I still a technical genius?
You are not.
Well, oh no, not the ability, but am I still like?
Oh yeah, you remain who you are.
Okay.
It's just without, essentially your mind is more occupied with plucking the delicate strings on the harp of fate. Like that's how you kind of get your insight into the future instead of like understanding military tactics and, like breaking and entering and like incursions and stuff. It's you're playing the game of you need to be in a certain place at a certain time or else the world ends.
Okay. Well, okay. I feel like this is part of the weaves of fate pushing me in the direction of me. So, what's up?
Okay. So, to confirm for those new, what exactly are you asking?
So I feel the gears of the inevitable just turning, and I know that I'm just Destiny's plaything.
Which means that you can essentially access the collective future memories of you and the future you and try to carve out what exactly is going on. So what that means is roll 2d6 plus weird.
Oh, 6.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do, Zlobs, is read the last sentence of the Destiny's Plaything ability for the audience. You really do.
On a miss, that is a 6 or a less, and I got a 6. Something bad is going to happen to you. End quote.
Oh.
That was mean. That was dirty, sir.
You remember, or rather, you were told by a future you that remembers, that Jess Who played in this game, but you didn't.
Oh, but I love playing older me.
Yeah, so pretty much every time you kind of tap the Destiny's Plaything ability, you in essence flash back to the hours that you and Umpire Sunman, aka your future self, sat in a maximum security prison documenting the next year of your life in a way that Nana Mather said won't screw up the timeline. So bits and pieces, and yeah, you remember the game against the Angelicas. Jess Who was there, you were not. You were not in the box score, meaning you didn't play. So you're kind of pondering this as Mindy's kind of gathering, and at this point, all of the sunflowers are here, and Mindy's kind of gathering everybody. We have to go. We have to find Jess Who, and yeah. So what do you want to do to try to find Jess Who?
I am gonna take off into the sky and try to do a call to her. An owl call to her, because sometimes sound travels faster, and maybe whichever direction she's in, she can call back to me.
Gotcha.
I'm still learning her call, but I'm going to do it.
Yes. I'm going to give you 2d6 plus sharp for this one.
9.
All right. Partial success, meaning you are able to locate her, but she is in a bind. So you kind of shout out, an owl call that you can still recognize, and you hear back a very small but very determined.
She's to the southeast.
So you bank back down. A bunch of people start following. And her tank is stuck in that tiny stream.
Oh,
Jess.
I can't. The treads are grinding against something, and I think I'm going to be late to the game.
It's okay.
I hook my chain onto the tank, and it's like, all right, everyone, let's pull.
Yeah, there's a little winch on the front that you hook to, and all of you pull. And whichever one of you is feeling particularly tough, give me a 2d6 plus tough.
Oh, I'm feeling it.
And add a +1 because you got the whole team helping you.
11.
All right. So you kind of pull Jess Who's tank out of the little stream and start kind of pulling it back towards the field. And like Mindy, you're kind of processing all this. It's like, wait, why is this non-Blittle Leaguer trying to distract us if Jess Who's not in ditch? She just got stuck. Like, that doesn't make sense. And it's at this point you hear it. A great splashing, a great thunderous, like waves, like ocean waves slamming against a beach. Followed by screams. It's coming. It's back towards the watershed.
I'm gonna run that way.
You do, yeah. You take off. Everybody starts taking off back. And yeah. Okay, so you're back in the watershed, and the outfield, such as it is just the banks of the reservoir, and it's kind of like a little sandy beach leading to kind of the vast reservoir. What has emerged from it are, well, giant squid tentacles made of garbage. These things are like the size of drain pipes. They're enormous, and they're like it's the size of a giant squid. The tentacles of a giant squid, but it's made of garbage, and it is ripping down the outfield fence. And one of the tentacles has grabbed Billy Ingot, who is screaming his head off.
I go in.
Okay, you go in. What do you want to do?
I want to use my big spiky chain to break that arm off to save Billy the Ingot, the kid.
Gotcha. All right, 2d6 plus tough to kick some butt, please.
11.
Okay. So we are going to keep track of damage to this thing here.
Oh, good.
So this thing has a total of 25 harm that you have to get through.
Easy.
However, with an 11, you get to well, it's up to you. We very rarely go into combat in a tremendous amount of depth here, but you rolled an 11, so choose something from the kick some butt list here. On a 10 plus, what do you do?
I want to put the target right where I want it.
Got it. So you do you do damage to it with the spiked chain. Which what is it? What's the harm on the spiked chain?
Oh goodness. That's a 3 harm.
3 harm. All right. So it's gone from 25 down to 22.
Yeah. It is a heavy spike chain.
Yeah. So you kind of run out, kind of spinning this giant heavy chain around and lash it around this giant, churning, disgusting tentacle. A couple more start splaying out of the water. Again, these things are 30, 40 feet long, and just causing chaos. But the one of them that's holding on to Billy Ingot and was lifting and dragging him back into the reservoir, you kind of pin it down, which means that someone else could probably do enough damage to break it.
Someone help!
I'm gonna fly up and then just come right down with my sword, right on.
Kick some butt, please.
The alley-oop.
Also, Zlobs, the tentacle does 1 harm to you.
8.
Got it.
I shrug it off.
So Darby, you the tentacle does 1 harm to you, and you do how many harm to it?
2D. What is it? I rolled a 9. Is it?
Harm
a 3. It's 3. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, there it is.
So yeah, you kind of come down, wings extended, the armor of heaven on you, big flaming sword, and boom, you slice the tentacle off. Billy kind of hits the ground and rolls, and he gets up and he's screaming. He's ghost white and panicking. There are more and more tentacles now kind of firing themselves out of the water and starting to grab sunflowers.
How many?
We need those sunflowers.
Like more than 8?
More than 8. This is not a squid made of garbage. This is some kind of horrible construct that is meant to approximate it. But it's a horrible nightmare machine, essentially, that was conjured with dark magic.
Thanks, chat.
I'd like to investigate a mystery. I want to know what kind of magic was done.
Absolutely. 2d6 plus sharp, please.
6.
Well, thankfully, what magic was done here is a free question for you. This is a you don't know who did it. This is a fairly simple but very powerful spell, and essentially there is something that has enchanted. You think the enchantment came in 2 parts. Essentially, a giant magnetic magnet was a giant magical magnet was dropped into the reservoir, which began to essentially amalgamate the things that it was looking for. And then once it had enough, it infused the collection with malign intent. So it's kind of like an animation enchantment, which are surprisingly easy to make, but it means that it was done recently, like past few hours.
Okay, I'm gonna look at whoever is near me. So I'm gonna look at, I guess, Fox, who's near me, and say, I bet it was Mary and Martha. Ooh.
Well, let's not get too hasty about that.
This seems like a really high pressure situation, so I'm gonna sit down and close my eyes.
Gotcha. So you sit down and close your eyes, and Lisa Lemonwedge, who at this point, like, there are more tentacles than everyone knows what to deal with. Lisa Lemonwedge is starting to like coordinate a defense, and she points. Mathers is concentrating, and
where do you want me, Lemonwedge? Where do you want me?
Get in its face until you get hurt. Get in its face. Up, front.
Okay, I go in.
George. And then you hear, the rumbling war cry of Jorts Grundle. That's a meatball! As he kind of pounds across and kind of stands nice and big and viscous in front of Mindy, so that Mindy is safe to concentrate. Mindy, what would you like to do?
I'd like to try and tune into whatever mind is behind the workings of this creature.
Got it.
2d6 maybe it has a mind of its own.
Maybe. 2d6 plus weird, please.
7.
You can ask one question from the tune-in list.
Okay, one question. How can I attract its attention?
To get its attention to you directly, you would need to get into the water.
I would need to get into the water. Okay. Does it still have Billy?
No, Billy is freed, but at this point, all the sunflowers are in like a kind of like a ragged firing line, trying to hit it with projectiles. Harper's Bazaar has a knitting needle crossbow, and she's like kind of firing shots into it, but there's just so much of it, and you don't know how to harm garbage. Right. So it's one of those things where every time, Salamander Scoot or Nicole Orby or anyone else actually does something to it, they are hurled backwards by these tendrils of garbage, and people are being cut up and hurt.
Okay. I'll start walking towards the water.
Sure.
I go for the face.
All right, Zlobs, you go for the face. 2d6 plus tough to kick some butt, please.
Okay. 8.
All right. So do you want to? You do damage to it. 3 harm, and it does damage to you. By the way, every time it hits you, it does 1 more damage because at this point it's starting to the tentacles just keep coming out.
Good. I wanted it to keep hitting me, and then I eventually wanted to get the arms all tangled up. And harm is an okay currency to pay.
Yep. You take 2 harm.
Ha! I shrug it off.
Yeah, and this thing starts kind of lashing and striking at you. You're not dying, but certainly this hurts like crazy.
Who
wants to go next?
As a holy being, I can cast out evil on occasion. And I don't know exactly what kind of unnatural creatures this is, but I do know that littering is pretty evil. So I'd like to cast out all of the single-use plastics, all of those, the rings that soda cans come in. I want to banish all of that from this creature.
2d6 plus tough, please.
It's distracted, if that helps.
11.
Okay. So what does it look like? There's to set the scene. There is a, it's essentially the size of, at this point, multiple school buses flailing around on the shore with tendrils kind of lapping off of those, made of all various bits. There you are. So describe what happens next.
Yeah. So I extend my wings and I fly up right out of its reach. So the tentacles can't quite get me, which is pretty high, actually. And then I find one of its eyes, and there's like a tomato soup can right there. And I take my sword, and then I just dive bomb right into that can. And I just channel all of my holy energy into every time I've ever seen a human litter. And I've been so mad that they would do this to our pristine planet that they've been given to be stewards of.
They have one planet and they're trying to wreck it. And that's just deeply wrong.
It's really sad.
Okay, so I'm going to give you, you're going to do damage to it, but I'm going to give you a choice. You can either do double the damage, or you can reveal its form.
Reveal its form.
Got it. So you kind of dive bomb into it, and kind of slice down with the flaming sword, and this thing doesn't necessarily scream. Scream is the wrong word. It sounds like 500 starving crows shrieking. Oh. And it's this echoing, cacophonous, deeply troubling image. And you kind of slice into it, and there's this big, loud, echoing, rumbly scream. And all of the bits of garbage that made this thing up, and there are tons of it, essentially erupt into a giant cloud of garbage, as if someone attached a trash truck full of garbage to a catapult and launched it into the air.
Uh-oh. Am I okay?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah, I thought so.
What is left behind is not something that I will describe. Suffice to say, whatever it is such concentrated, dense hatred that that if you stay here, you're going to die. Whatever it is you see, you think is the end of you. Even you, Zlobs, as you are tumbling through the air, you look at it and you say, nope, Sunman was wrong. Sunman was wrong. This is it. This is the end, before you slam into a tree. Ow. This is very much the case for everyone but Mindy, who is walking towards the water with her eyes closed. Everyone else, however, is sent into full retreat.
I keep stepping towards the water.
Lisa Lemon Wedge kind of looks around, like panicked. She's seeing hatred in her mind and heart when she looks at this thing. And then she looks and sees, like her bloodied, bruised teammates, and she yells, fall back to the river, everybody. Come on, fall back. Everybody. And everyone starts running backwards, except for Mindy.
It's filling up my shoes, and it's filling up my ankles, and it's up to my knees, and I just keep walking.
And all of you are gathered around. Whatever this battle was fast and violent and exhausting and not over. Thin ribbons of sunshine cut through the canopy overhead. The dance of light and shadow across your face is like moving camouflage. You all stand there, all except for Mindy, tired, bruised, and bloody. Ammo check, Lisa Lemonwedge calls out as she wraps gauze around her arm. Harper says half a dozen knitting needles. Nicole Orby has 1 shot left in the trick flower. Morgan, how many Blaseballs left?
4 Blaseballs.
And Fox is low on chemicals. Salamander Scoot is out of lava rocks. Catch your breath, everybody. You can't stay here. Darby, Zlobs, Jorts, you're the tip of the spear. Everyone else, we're right behind him. We're taking that beach and we're getting to Mindy.
I'll beat you there, Darby. I'll beat you there, Jorts.
Oh, no, you better.
And you all charge. Mindy, you are in the water. The concentrated hatred and evil is around you, but you're not sensing it as that. You kind of know it for what it is. It's magic. Mm-hmm. This is a powerful, very immediate magic spell that's supposed to infuse hatred and terror into people. Mm-hmm. What do you do since you're here?
Well, it's not going to affect me, so I'm going to swim towards it and see if I can touch it with 1 finger.
Yep. 2d6 plus weird, please.
Okay. I'm just thinking sort of, I can kind of lock my mind down. I learned that when we were in one of the other places. Mm-hmm. And so I've sort of locked it down so it can't get at me. But right when I touch it, I'm going to try to actually open back up and sort of maybe give it a little light.
Got it. Roll it.
We'll see how it works. Uh-oh. 5. 5 is what I rolled. This is my first time trying something like this.
And you know what? That's how you learn. You swim up and you're like, okay, this makes sense. I get it. This is magic. And you kind of reach out and there shouldn't be waves. This is an inland reservoir, but there are waves lapping against you because there's this churning tentacled hatred monster out here. And you're kind of fighting through that, and you're trying to stay calm, and you reach out and touch it with your finger. Well, for starters, you immediately take 2 harm. And the other is you see into the mind of what is sustaining the spell. Thistles. The Little Leaguer, or at least you think it was, and you kind of go back and you see, like you just see for a second, kind of her concentrating and holding her hand up, and then she knows that you saw her, and she closes her hand, and then you kind of lose the image.
Is it gone, or is it still here?
Oh, it's still here. And at this point, you are its food. All of you are kind of storming the beach now, kind of recharging to take it. You see Mindy as kind of this kind of human form surrounded by this like churning dark mass, and Mindy's kind of popping below the water and getting back up, and you're not sure if she's concentrating or drowning or what.
I'm going to cast a protection spell immediately.
That's smart.
Yep. Morgan, you do that the next time that Mindy is harmed, you can try to protect someone.
Okay. And then I'm going to look at Darby and kind of like,
I jump in.
All right. So yeah, at this point you're diving back in. Like essentially Lisa Lemonwedge pulled you all back so that you can recenter yourselves because you were experiencing terror. And so now that there's there was an organized retreat and a recommitment to the attack, you all are starting to see through this weird, illusory hatred that it has. This is a giant magical force. But you at least understand you're not going to die today. So Zlobs, you kind of charge back in.
Well, Zlobs charges back in. I start singing "Girl from Ipanema" to make him feel happy while he's surrounded by hate.
That makes a lot of sense. 2d6 plus tough to kick some butt plus 1 because of "Girl from Ipanema."
Oh, is that me?
Go, Zlobs.
9, 9, 9. I got 9. I jump into it.
All right, you do 3 damage to it. It does 3 damage to you.
Oh, I actually finally took damage.
Yeah. This is pretty vicious out here. You kind of get forward with the chain. You're kind of striking off tentacles and trying to get to Mindy. You slice open your feet on the sharp rocks under the sand of the beach here, and you know you're bleeding, and you feel like you're slipping around in your own blood. Who's going next?
Ow. Ow. Ow.
I'm going to summon my angels, and I'm going to hope that they can be a choir of angels for me today.
Here's hoping. All right, 2d6 plus tough to summon the army.
Oh, that was 12.
Okay, so for everybody else, you all get +1 on your kick some butt rolls. For Darby, your flaming sword now does 4 damage instead of 3. Darby, describe the scene.
I raise up my sword, my flaming sword, and it starts glowing blue. And I extend my wings and fly up just a little bit, and I say, "Army of Heaven, I summon you!" And then just little bursts of light start coming out. Blue flames that turn into light, that turn into angels, burst out, and they start swarming above this monster. And I command them to sing some beautiful holy hymns while they attack. Because I just want everyone to feel still, just to help counteract the hate that they're feeling and fuse all of us with that holiness.
Yeah, it's the magical hatred monster is still ominous and weird and unnerving, but you are all reassured by the fact that there are immortal warriors flying in a circle, occasionally firing off a flaming arrow and singing a grand and beautiful choir. Morgan, what do you want to do?
Mathers is encapsulated in my protection spell, so I can do what I was going to do in the first place. I'm going to... Water's conductive of electricity. Correct?
Oh my god, it's so conductive.
All right, I'm gonna make a lightning storm happen in that ocean.
Oh,
yeah, that'll do it.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, that'll be your combat magic. That's going to be essentially a giant lightning ball. So 2d6 plus weird, please.
Oh, that's an 11.
Oh, well, my heavens. Yep, you do 2 damage to it in truly spectacular fashion. There's a giant swarm of angels through the middle of them. Strikes of lightning are hitting this thing and shearing off bits of like this weird shadowy hatred energy that's kind of evaporating into the air. Mercifully, you avoid hitting Mindy. Speaking of Mindy, you're up. What do you want to do?
Well, I've just been trying to keep my head above water for a little while, but I feel Morgan's protection spell around me now, which means that I can't hit the sharp rocks below. So I'm going to concentrate and try to attack it from within. I take a really big breath of water. I mean, air. I try not to take a breath of water. I try to take a big breath of air, and then I let myself sink under the water, and I let my body just go completely relaxed, and I do a mental storm.
2d6 plus weird to kick some butt, please.
Okay. 14. Oh,
Well,
15 actually, plus 1 from Darby.
Well, my goodness.
It's a big mental storm.
Yep. So here's how this is going to work. You are going to buffet this. You're essentially going to be a tuning fork of mental discordance in the middle of this thing. So you're going to do 2 damage to it. No doubt. It has 6 damage left, 6 harm left. For every 2 damage, you can pick any amount of additional damage to do. But for every 2 points of harm you do to it, 1 will be done to Zlobs because he's right here.
Do it. 6.
That's 3 points.
Oh, 3. Yeah, that's fine.
Avoids armor, by the way. This is
that's
all
fine.
Noggin.
That's fine.
All right, I finish it off. 6 points.
So this is a truly mind warping amount of psychic energy. So describe how it manifests.
Oh, I don't think I've ever done a mental storm quite this big. I don't know if it's because I'm right in the middle of the magic, or maybe it's Morgan's storm all around me. Or maybe it's because I saw the cause of it earlier through Thistle. But all that combined, the water around me feels icy cold, and my eyes are closed, but my vision just goes all purple and cloudy underneath my eyelids, and it's like I can see through the magic. I can see through the mind of Thistle, and it's like a tornado is just blowing through the whole thing. Just thoughts are rushing past me, rushing past both of us, and I'm catching glimpses of memories and sounds and smells and other things, visions, people I don't recognize. It's all just flying by until it all just goes too fast and gets swept away.
You all watch this thing explode. Like weird black fireworks. The angels now start kind of weaving through it, and with these great golden nets start kind of sweeping it all up.
What happens with me and Thistle? Are we feedback swapped?
Oh my God! Since you brought it up, Zlobs, give me 2d6 flat, please.
6.
It's not, Zlobs, that you weren't in the game.
No!
It's that you were on the other team. Like you are hurled backwards, big cackling explosion. Thistle is standing in the forest and kind of walks out. She's wearing a sunflower's uniform. Zlobs, you emerge from the water. You don't think it's a concussion, but it certainly feels like one. You walk out of the water barefoot and wearing an Arlington Angelicas uniform.
Oh. Wait, do I know what happened? Did I mix something up?
This was a lot of energy, and you're pretty sure it was enough to, well, create a tiny bit of a blister in reality, which means that for some amount of time, Thistle and Zlobs have kind of switched places in existence a little bit.
Oh,
Zlobs is still Zlobs, but he is an Arlington Angelica, and Thistle is still Thistle, and she is your starting catcher.
Oh, man.
There's feedback to Zlobs.
Oh.
Ah!
Wait,
Shoot.
I don't play first base. Oh, I guess I'm playing first base.
Ugh. Darn, that hasn't happened in a long time to me.
Thistles walks forward. Well, I suppose I should apologize, teammates.
Huh?
Yeah, that was pretty lousy.
What the
Well,
heck?
It wasn't my idea, but, well, it was kind of all of our ideas.
Explain.
Cut to the other watershed field, where all of the Arlington Angelicas are standing around, and Umpire Singh keeps checking the time in the heads-up display of her power armor. Well, they are officially 18 minutes late. Once they get to 20, the Sunflowers will forfeit. And the Burke Whimsy and their captain, Jolene Wormwood, kind of nods to the umpire. Well, we sure would have loved for them to show up and play us there, umpire, but, well, we certainly got here on time. Cut back to you.
Darby.
Thistles explains that the elaborate form of cheating that the Angelicas did this week, where they planted a bug on Guess Who so they could listen to all of you and keep track of which of the 2 watershed fields you went to. They were then going to go to the other one, except for Thistles, who was going to summon a giant monster to keep you busy, and a local actor named Billy Ingot, who is going to pretend to be really scared and confused.
Oh, I knew I recognized him. I saw him in a community theater production of All My Sons.
He was super good. And a 3-octave range, too, which is excellent at that age.
We don't have time. Darcy,
I'm flying. All we need is one player.
Yep.
And I'm flying faster than I've ever flown. Steam just pouring out of me.
To Darby, let's have this be 2d6 plus cool. For your, I'll put it to you this way: a full success means the entire team is there, or you're able to delay enough for the entire team to be there. A failure means it's just you, and a partial success is somewhere in between.
It's a 7.
Okay. So essentially you fly in, thunder and glory, brass wings, sun at your back, slam into the pitcher's mound like a meteor. And umpire Singh looks at you. Ah, Darby O'Darcy.
Let's play blow! I'm here! Did I make it? Did I make it? Did I make it?
You made it.
Yes!
But where's everybody else? And
Hi everyone. Hi. I'm sorry we're late. As a member of the Arlington Angelicas, we pulled a prank on the Sunflowers. So it's our fault that the Sunflowers are late. So we can play ball now. We're sorry for doing that.
Umpire Singh looks at you, Zlobs of the Arlington Angelicas, logs the official confession.
Mm-hmm.
And says, all right.
It wasn't my idea, but we did it as a team, so it's our fault.
Jolene Wormwood narrows her eyes at you.
Hey, Captain.
Zlobs.
It's good to see you. I can't wait to play.
And with that, because the Arlington Angelicas have cheated before, the Angelicas rule is in the event of cheating, the extra team gets 2 extra minutes to compensate. And in that amount of time, Thistles and pretty much all of you and a few other players end up arriving. Jess, who has to leave the tank behind, she's here. but she can't play first base in the tank. She just has to play first base as herself.
Oh no,
That's gonna be tricky.
So Umpire Singh kind of calms everybody down and calms the crowd down. The crowd is all here. Light crowd because this is a hiking trail. Sitting in the front row, laughing hysterically out all of this, is Susie Chen.
Mathers, look, Susie Chen.
Come on, sunflowers. All right, Mindy, let's make this roll up to you. 2d6 plus cool, please.
Me? Cool?
Yeah.
I'm soaking wet. I don't think I look cool at all.
Mathers, I think you're cool.
I think you're going down.
Okay, I take a deep breath. Three. I take a deep breath. I take a great big step forward and I trip over a stick in front of me and I start to catch myself, but then one of my shoelaces is still untied from the earlier altercation, so I step on my own shoelace then and I get twisted up in that and I just struggle for a moment before I fall straight over in the dirt, and this dirt sticks to me because I'm soaking wet.
Oh,
Susie Chen is watching all of this while picking at a Tupperware full of gorp.
That was
Come
a rough one,
on,
Mathers.
sunflowers.
Shoot.
Not your finest hour, Mathers. I go and hand my arm down.
Thanks.
Let's kick some butt.
Yeah.
I want each of you to give me a sentence narrating the game.
I'm pitching, but I'm not pitching to Zlobs. In fact, every single time I try to pitch to my catcher, we don't know the signals. Like, we don't have any of that information.
no.
So it's just bananas. It's chaos.
Yeah, Thistles is holding her glove up, and at this point she's just like, fastball.
But I start, like, every single time Thistles says, like, fastball, then I do the opposite.
My army of angels stuck around for the game, which is the first time that they've done that. And so they hang out on top of the Angelicas dugout, and they just whisper to them about their greatest fears that they know about, just to, like, kind of psych them out a little bit. And but they say it in a way that sounds really nice. They're, like, bullying in a nice way.
One day you will conquer that fear of tarantulas. It will not be for a long time. In fact, your grandchildren will eventually help you get past it. But, you know, life goes fast.
I'm having a real tough game because after I tripped over my shoelaces because one of them was untied, I don't know why I did this, but I looked over at Susie on the stands and I said, I wear them this way on purpose. But then I realized that meant that I can't retie them or else it'll look like I really wasn't wearing them that way on purpose. So I have to play the whole game with my laces untied. I've been tripping a lot.
I'm having a lot of regrets about calling Susie Chen.
Hey, Morgan. I want a cool versus sharp battle against you.
You cool, I sharp?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to steal home. Let's see if it works. 10.
9.
Sunflower is leading in the top of the 9th. Zlobs steals home in the bottom of the 9th to tie it up.
Okay. I can't stand this anymore. And if we go into extra innings, I want to do my best. So I march over to the stands. I put my untied laces up on the stands. I say, Susie, as one of my best friends, I assume you can handle this truth. I lied to you earlier. I don't wear it this way on purpose. I was embarrassed when I fell down. Thank you for being my friend. And I tie up my lace and I march back out into the field to do my best.
Oh.
Come on, sunflowers.
Hearing Susie Chen saying, come on, sunflowers, with just the ounce of sincerity makes me really pumped up. And I shout to Darcy, and I shout to everybody in the team, come on, sunflowers.
Come on, sunflowers.
Come on,
Come on,
sunflowers.
Come on, sunflowers.
Why don't you give me a roll? Tell me what it's for.
I'm gonna try and strike, since it's the bottom of the 9th, I assume. I'm gonna try to strike the other team out. And that's is that a sharp or a cool?
Sharp if you want to outthink them on the mound. Cool if you want to be unflappable out there. Weird if you want to use a bunch of your magic.
Never. I'm gonna use sharp.
All right.
And that is a 10.
You strike out the side, bottom of the 9th. Top 10, Darby gets on base. Steals second. Mindy Mathers, drag bunt, first base side. Darby rounds third, comes home.
Yeah.
Morgan holds on bottom 10. Final score, Sunflowers 3, Angelicas 2.
Yeah.
Go sunflowers.
Coach Martinez and hey, chat, what's the coach of the Arlington Angelicas? Anyway, the two coaches line everybody up along the foul lines, and as you cross home plate, you all start high-fiving each other in a line. Perfect. And Zlobs, just as you high-five Thistles, the feedback flips itself again.
Ah!
And you switch lines and uniforms.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, you're feeling awfully good about winning a game you didn't technically play. The Sunflowers for.
Go Sunflowers.
That was even a shorter one than last time. Not too bad, Mathers.
And as you were all packing up your things and leaving, Jolene Wormwood just stares at you from the roof of the dugout. But Thistles kind of waves and says, "Sorry, good game."